Hey, you're listening to the Truth Be Told with myself, Tbeyb, here on KUAW Radio. If you have a business or an event that you'd like sponsor here on KUAW, make sure to send us an email at kuawgmail.com or 985@gmail.com. If you're listening, or make sure to catch us 24/7 on the World Wide Web. That's www.kuaw.org. If you're listening to me live over Facebook, hey, or if you're listening to me over the air via TuneIn or the website and you'd like to watch me live, pop over to our Facebook page. That's KUAW-radio. And we're also KUAW all across the board: Twitter, Instagram, TuneIn, YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe to those pages so you can share the amazing content that we have here with all your family and friends. Okay, well, I think that was all. That was it, all in all. Okay, so I've been seeing over last couple of days a lot of shootings in Kansas City. So I believe that we are up to like the 60th homicide so far in 2021. And we know with a lot of things opening back up, because we know the world is opening back up right now. Vaccines is a whole nother topic, whether you get it. It's such a way to kind of divide and have us have something to, what is the word I'm trying to use? So have something to kind of hold us against each other when you're like, oh, you ain't got your mask on, you know you ain't vaccinated, or you know how people get in things again once things start opening back up, and there's a lot of businesses saying that you don't have to wear a mask if you're fully vaccinated. But then I have seen, well, even with policies with work and everything, that it's optional because you don't have to prove that you've been vaccinated. So, or they're not asking, like, you going to Walmart, ain't nobody standing at the door like, oh, let me see your vaccination card. Okay, you don't have to wear a mask, but you have to put on a mask, and you don't have to wear a mask. Like, this stuff is getting crazy. And a lot of things are opening back up. A lot of activities are starting to continue, like a whole across the country, and especially in Kansas City. So the homicide rates, of course, coincide with that, and it start going up. So you got clubs, you got concerts, you got all these kind of things or whatever that's been happening. And then now you start seeing the shootings and coming out with the guns and everything like that, which is crazy because when we talked about Biden getting in office a couple of months ago, we said that he was going to do some things with this gun control and what they were going to try to, which I'm still curious to see what they come up with. You know, I don't necessarily know if gun control is something that we honestly need. But we know that there's a problem because we keep seeing these homicides and people. I know I was watching a couple of weeks in a row, and it was just like back to back to back fathers of like 5, 6 children, you know, just senseless, like getting shot. You know what I'm saying? One guy I seen got shot at like a pizza parlor or something like that. Like he was picking up food to feed his children, and our community just don't have no type of sense of life, like concern for life or one another, for like humanity. Like you're not thinking of when you're going out shooting into a crowd, hitting these innocent people, or just shooting somebody because y'all got into a fight, or you know, I don't know, he hurt your feelings, he embarrassed you. I don't know what the heck he might have even stole some money from you. I feel like if he didn't kill you or try to kill you, you ain't got no reason to kill him. However, but they're taking them away from, you know, their children or having a father figure in a home, and fall right into that category of basically not having a dad. I was on Clubhouse a couple of days ago, and it was a lady speaking, and of course we were speaking about dating and all kind of things like that. And she was like, you know, well, I didn't grow up with a father, so I didn't have an example of what a man, you know, what a man should be, or what the type of man I should go after, and all these other kind of things or whatever. And so it's just one of those things we throw into the pond of excuses that we give our neighborhood. And it's not even just with women when it comes to like having like a romantic relationship either, but even like young men, when they say they turn to the streets, they ain't had no father figure in the home, they don't have no discipline, all this other kind of stuff, when really it's more so your mother that instructs those things. I remember in my house, my mother was a disciplinary, not my daddy. Like, let's just be real. He wasn't the one handing out no punishments or nothing like that. Oh, I did want y'all to know that I can't see y'all, so make sure you comment. Oh, hey, Mrs. Walker, I see you. Oh, now I got myself talking. Okay, but anyway, and make sure, I'm sorry again, but make sure to like and share this video so I can get my viewers up. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've actually, well, you guys wouldn't know that anyway, but I've been having some previous shows playing so since I've been here. But anyway, back to what I was saying, I got a little distracted. But yeah, so these senseless killings, and when we think about the guns, because I had seen that someone had robbed the black-owned gun store in Independence a while ago back, like a month or two ago back, I think. And we even see like stealing from our own, and they stealing these guns and sell them on the street and everything like that. And then you got these type of things that happen where men are losing, children are losing their fathers, women losing their mothers, losing their sons, sisters losing their brothers, just like whatever, for nothing, all because someone has a lack of love for humanity. And it's crazy because that kind of goes into one of the things I want to talk about today, because it's one of the conversations that I've recently had, of course, but it was saying if we learn to live on the frequency of love, like a lot of people like to confuse love with like a feeling or action. It's like, oh, you got to show that you love me, like, or I have to feel loved and everything like that, right? When love is really just a frequency, to dwell on. It's just like what you do to others. It's not, it's basically, it's like, even when you're talking and having a conversation with someone, it's saying what your intent behind it. Are you doing it out of love? Are you trying to belittle them? Are you trying to argue with them? Are you trying to educate them? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about like your intent in your heart of what it is that you are doing and you're saying at any given moment, no matter what it's for. Like, even when you see people standing on a corner like begging for change, or people at a store begging for change or something like that, right? You either going to choose to give them some spare change or give them $1 or $2 or whatever, not for no specific reason, not saying that you want something back from this person, because what can this person really offer you, but just for your intent, like, I'm just doing it out of love, like love for humanity, you know what I'm saying? Like, this, just to spread it, just to dwell on that frequency. And it's like, that's just when we talk about universal laws and how the universe works, and why it's so important that we learn universal laws and we teach universal laws to our children. And it kind of all go back, and I like to make everything come back full and whole, but it even goes back to the sense of how we treat each other, and how quick you would be to just kill basically your brother, and your brother-in, just another member of humanity, right? So it's like how quick you are, how you just have no regard for life, in a sense that, it's just easy to take someone's life. And if we had taught a different understanding like that, like it says, everyone knows, like, if you want to change your conditions, you got to change the way you think, right? If you change the way you're thinking, then your conditions will change, right? Because we create with our thoughts. That's something that I always say on here. Y'all know, same old me. But, we create with our thoughts. So if we was to change the way that we're thinking, and that starts with teaching, not only I see all the children graduating from school, I see, a lot of people, graduating with degrees, bachelor degrees, associate's degrees, and not to take away from none of that, you know what I'm saying? But we have to learn the real sciences of life, like these universal laws, how everything that we do, everything that we think, contributes to the reality that we see in front of us as a whole, though. Because even though my reality is my reality, it's a piece of a whole, because we're all connected in some way, shape, or form. The people that you meet, you bounce your energy off of them. That teams, those type of things. The people that you choose to have intercourse with, you know what I'm saying? You're combining energy, spirit, like everyone that you have some type of relationship with, family wise, whatever it is, however the dynamic of the relationship is, you're somehow exchanging some type of energy just being around this person. So my reality of I guess naturally would affect humanity's reality, and that's really the first universal law. Is like the law of oneness, of how everything gets connected to another, and how all in this big old ball of galaxy of energy that we live in, you know what I'm saying, that how all these things work together in a sense, that's the first universal law. But it's like, how many people don't really know what that actually means, because it wasn't taught coming up in your fundamental programming, you know what I'm saying? Like in your when we think about the ages from like 0 to 7, it wasn't taught in a way of the things of like your subconsciousness, right? A lot of people, I've seen a lot of people lately reading this book called The Power, the Subconscious Mind, which is a wonderful book, like, for people to read. Because if you think about your subconscious mind is what works on autopilot. So it's like when you don't have to think about it, your natural reaction, your first reaction, you know what I'm saying, to any given situation, whether it's an outside force or inside force. A lot of situations that we have aren't just outside forces. Like we like to blame them on outside forces and everything like that, but really, some things that we go through, or some things that we cause, a lot of things that we call on our own, somehow, some way on the inside, a reflection of what's going on the inside of us. So yeah, I just feel like if we learn to understand the frequencies and the energies of the universe, right? And how they work. See, I call it the science of life. And I'm trying not to use that term and things like that, because, this is the truth be told. And in my mind, in my beliefs, in my faith, and that's what it is. It's just like the formula to science to life. Like there's a lot of different sciences out here to help you maneuver through the plane of manifest, you know what I'm saying? Through the earth, through where we are, we have all these scientific methods that they teach us in school, but none of these things really regarding to us as humans and how we navigate, in this plane, really. And I think it's really getting more and more to the point where more people have to become aware of it, because we're living in a time so where you can't go to the club or you can't go have fun. It ain't even just the club. It's really like you can't go nowhere without risking your life, in a sense, especially, and it shouldn't have to be like that. Like, and then people like, well, you put yourself in those situations by the places that you go and things like that. Like people just like to have fun, you know what I'm saying? And enjoy life and, things like that or whatever. This still shouldn't be a death sentence, right? We already got so many other outside sources trying to tear us down. We got to worry about the police killing you. You got to worry about your own, kind killing you. You got to worry about so much things. When you just step out here, just to live your life, to keep you in a space of happiness. Because I got this post on my page, y'all check out my Instagram page, Tbeyb. You find me on Instagram, follow, I comment, like, talk back, all that. But so I was going with that. So yeah, this post I said that it says happiness is an inside job. Like you got to understand that no one can contribute to your happiness. No other certain circumstances determine your happiness. Like you determine your happiness. You know what I'm saying? The things that you enjoy and what feeds your soul. And I feel like it's important that we understand that as well, because it helps us vibrate on a higher vibration. It all comes back to the science of like just the human body energy that we are made of. And it's crazy because I just like, I don't even think I like science in school, but you talk about the electrons, the neutrons, the protons, the and everything like that over that makes up the human body, like the DNA. I always paid attention when it came to like the human body part of it, the DNA, the anatomy, the RNA, all that. You know what I'm saying? How genes, when you think about like sickle cell, even when you think about eye color and pigmentation and everything like that, of we are coming into this world, and so it's like that type of stuff I always really paid attention to in science and everything like that. But it's like, so like who you are, like what you're made of, like your carnal, this vehicle so well, like you're taught this vehicle so well, but you got to know the source of the vehicle, because the vehicle is just the vehicle, like this just the car, you know what I'm saying, like this just the vehicle or whatever. But the source of it, which lies in the mind, what most people would consider your soul. And if you don't believe in things like that, I don't know, the thing that keeps you going, like that keeps, I don't know, the essence of who you are. But they would say thinking, willing, understanding, and reasoning would be the actions of the soul. All those things lie in your mind. When you think about in carnal way, they just call it your brain, which houses your soul. You know what I'm saying? And the eyes is the windows to the soul. If y'all ever heard that, the eyes being the windows to the soul. Why you say that is because what you see and come out of it is a projection of what's in your mind, right? It's like always your perception of things like that. That's why you gotta protect the energy and things around you, and protect like what you watch and stuff like that. That's why I don't watch scary movies. My sisters and them, my little sisters, try to be laughing, like making fun of me, like I'm scared or something like that. But nah, it's like I just don't watch scary movies because I protect the energy and stuff that I put in my mind. Like I don't want to watch no scary movie, then go lay down and have a dream, and then now I'm having nightmares and stuff like that. Like I control this. It's really about whether do you control your essence, or does your essence control you? Or somebody else can be controlling your essence. You can be being controlled, right? So let me break that down for you real quick. In this time that we have before I go to the second half of this show. And I see this comment from Ms. Linda Mackey, said, I'm truly enjoying what you're saying. You're right on the girl. I appreciate you tapping in with me. Yes, make sure to like and share it. And yes, and you guys, comment if you're listening here, to talk to me or whatever. Even if you're watching it back or something like that later too. You can still comment. I'll get notifications and everything like that, or hit me on my Facebook, which is either Tbeyb, or my Instagram, which is also Tbeyb. Everything is Tbeyb, so it's easy to find me. But anyway, so you can either control, or it can control you. So let's talk about this fact, is where it says it can control you. And what I mean by that is like your carnal self can control you. Like your emotions can control you. I equate emotions like anger, sadness, fear, all those type of things with my carnal self, right? And so but those things can control you. We probably know a lot of people that's controlled by anger, the things that they do, their reactions, the way that they talk, the way that they act, the way that they speak. If it's negative, if it's like a lot a pessimist in a sense, maybe it's someone that like deals with depression or anxiety or some things like that or whatever. So it can control you. Like that's like basically your carnal self controlling you. If you're like, and I guess I learned that in anger management, and see, anger is one that's, for me, that's easy to identify with, and it's like the easiest one to talk about, because everyone understands what it means to be angry. They know, a lot of people say, yeah, but don't make me mad. You know what I'm saying? Or It's just something that everyone is easily to be able to identify with, right? So I'm just gonna stick with anger when it goes to controlling you. But it's a lot of any emotion that you can think of. If I just said something right now there that resonates you or made you think about it, then just think about what that emotion is, and then just think about how is it controlling you and how you can control it. But like I said, I'm gonna talk about anger because anger is one that's is mine, and I think it's real relevant in like everything that's going on in the world today when like people fight and conflict resolution and everything like that. Because I'm the type of person, I'm a Scorpio, I don't like to feel disrespected, right? So once I feel disrespected, then I tend to get what I would call angry, used to, right? And still do it. I still do. I just control it more. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So if you feel disrespected, somebody do something to you, the day really could just not be going so well, and you just get angry, like, what is going on? Like, shoot, your health or something like that. Like, just it's a lot of different, situations, right? But then we have to think about we have these when it comes to other people, a lot when I was younger, and when it came to like conflicts and talking to people and everything like that, I was real heavy on well, he or she made me mad, right? And my daddy would always tell me, well, who made you? And I'm like, Allah made me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, God made me. Well, if Allah made you, then how can somebody else make you mad? Or that you allowed yourself to get mad? You allowed yourself to feel that whatever feeling that it is that you have. Like, you allowed yourself to do that. Like, you are in control whether you feel that emotion or whether you react to that emotion or not nobody else. There's nobody else's responsibility to make sure they don't trigger you. Like, that's not no one else's responsibility. It's what you allow to trigger you, or what you allow, or not even what you allow to trigger you, but how you react to the triggers, because that's really all it is. Like, when people realize that when someone is intentionally trying to, like, if they're like talking about you or something like that, like intentionally trying to make you mad or get under your skin, all they want is a reaction. So and it's just like we was talking, the only time you really react to it is if you have some type of inside insecurity into it being true. Now think about that. If you didn't feel like it was true, you wouldn't let it get you so angry, or you wouldn't feel disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, sometimes with me, I gotta understand I feel disrespected because I feel like the person is demeaning my character. So then I gotta ask myself, does this person even really know me? Like, they don't know me. Like, how can I let someone who never even met me in person, or never even had a full conversation with me, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, how can I let someone like that have an opinion on what my character even is? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't defame my character, so therefore I can't even feel disrespected. Like, you have to really start dissecting these feelings to break really being led by your carnal self and to move like in your spirit. Like, for real, it's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's being in control of every thought, every word that comes out of it, being responsible or being accountable for every word, every action, you know what I'm saying, that you do. Not saying whether, one that I know a lot of people have is that Walmart self-checkout, right? It's so easy to go to the Walmart self-checkout and skip a couple of items. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy, but then you feel like you can get away with it. Ain't nobody watching you. But really, the universe sees everything. The universe doesn't have to be watching because it's the energy. You know what I'm saying? That what it is that you're doing and what you're putting out. That's a different perspective that people not taught about. You know what I'm saying? You think about what people see you doing, or what somebody gonna judge you for, what somebody can say to you, or what somebody can even persecute or prosecute you for. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you can get away with and what you can't get away with. But when you realize that you can't get away with anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get away with anything because there is no getting away from energy. If there is no getting away from what you put out is what you get back in any shape or form. Even when we're talking about dealing with other people, dealing with family members, dealing with someone that you don't even know. When you out in these clubs, somebody step in your shoe or try to fight you or some things like that. If everybody just knew how to be like, bro, this stuff don't even know me. Why am I even letting this fight, bro? Let me go home. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be you not making it home. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about that. These people doing all these killings and everything like that. Like, it could be you not making it home. And that's what we need to teach, even like these young men growing up. With this next 5 minutes, I seen this video or these videos and pictures of this rites of passage ceremony that this father was doing for his son on his 13th birthday. And all the men in his family and everything was coming, giving them words of wisdom. If they wanted to, they would give him a little peace offering, something that he can pass down to his son, like when he had one, everything like that. But I just felt like it was a real beautiful ceremony, and it was a real beautiful it's a tradition that we need to start. Like, we got swept up and programmed into these sweet 16s. No, we don't need no sweet 16. A rites of passage at 13 need to be teaching men how to be men, so that they not 17 shooting each other down. These last couple of men I seen being killed, like grown men with children, were killed by children, like teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Like, just doing whatever. Like, no, we need to start being more accountable. And I say this all the time. Y'all can go back. I watch my old shows, and I had to realize how much I say the same thing over and over. But I'm going to keep saying it over and over because it's the truth be told. So, the truth don't ever get old. But I'm just saying, like, we have to be more accountable of the people, of the generations that we're raising. How are we raising them? You know what I'm saying? What are we teaching them? Are we just letting them be controlled? That's the last person. So remember, I said you either control your carnal self controls you, or someone else is controlling you or it. You know what I'm saying? Which is your mind, your programming, the way you think, the way you understand, the way you reason, the way, you know what I'm saying? The will that you have to do something, to discipline yourself to be able to do something, all these type of things or whatever. So you got the ones that are being controlled by TV, what they see on TV, by what is programmed in their minds during school, even the history and the way that it's taught. Like, and what I mean by that is, if you feel like you are nothingness and you always been nothingness, you don't have no idea to want to be anything but nothingness. You know what I'm saying? We in school, they teach you were slaves, you struggled there, we bombed you here, it's still a struggle to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's if you don't revert that, if you let that be the only thing that goes into your child's mind, because we raising them, you know what I'm saying? And we can't do nothing really about a lot of generations out here, because then at that point they got to be wanting. You can mentor, you can talk all you want, but they got to want to come to the mentoring. They got to see, better before the ones that's coming up. We got to make sure that we're not repeating the same mistakes, basically the same patterns, and just creating the next generations of them. I seen the picture, everybody got mad on Facebook. A girl her baby had a toy gun. And babies always putting stuff in their mouth, right? I'm trying to just give her the benefit of the doubt, because babies are always putting stuff in their mouth, right? But the gun looked super real. And she claimed that it was a toy gun, and she was like, all kids have toy guns, this and that, da. And y'all know, I don't think that they should, though. I really wish we would put Nerf gun out of business. Like, I do not think, in no way, shape, or form that you should play with a toy gun. I don't even think it gives the right mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when my little nephew, he used to shoot with his hand. Boy, don't you shoot at me. Like, I tell him, don't you shoot at me. No. Like, that's not even the type of thing that I want to have programmed in your mind, like in your personality And see, even if it was, and I think that back to these generations, we had what we call super soaker water guns. I used to love having these water gun effects or fights, you know what I'm saying? And have all of the big guns and everything like that or whatever, playing with those type of things. And I was thinking like, now those are the type of things that's programmed in this generation's coming up because of the age from the 0 to 7 type thing, right? And so they resolve everything with violence. They used to getting whoopings. They used to shoot, you know, playing with guns and everything like that. So now they older to get real guns. They just get real guns, but they still have the same type of mentality on how to deal with some things. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But it's like, it's those uncomfortable conversations that we have to talk about, because if we don't talk about them and somebody don't say nothing, then we ain't never gonna start thinking nothing different, right? And at some point we gotta start doing something different. Okay, so I gotta take a break real quick. Yeah, so I just want to, guys, bear with me, take this time to like and share the video with your neighbors, and we're gonna pay a couple of bills, and I'll be right back. Okay, because I need to get something to drink. Okay, and we're back. I appreciate you guys bearing with me so that we can get our sponsorships out the way. Again, if you have an event or a business that you would like sponsor here on KUAW, make sure to send us an email at KUAW at 985 at gmail.com. Yes, we definitely help us help you. We are a global community radio station. So again, anywhere you are, you don't even have to be in the Kansas City area to be displayed on our website or anything like that. So again, if you're listening and you got a business or an event or something you would like to be spread through KUAW, make sure to send us an email. Okay, so I want to shift gears a little bit from the previous conversation. But so I want to talk about I was watching Waka Flocka, Tammy, Waka and Tammy. It's called WTF, What the Flockas or something like that. And I binge watched it. You know, I had surgery. I've been out a little bit, so I had some time to binge watch some things or whatever. However, it was one episode where Charlie, which is Tammy's daughter from a previous relationship, She's 15 years old now. She basically was dating a girl, and then they was on a trip. She broke down, she crying and going through all these like different emotions and everything like that. And one thing she said was like, about like, I guess the girl that was supposed to be her girlfriend, and then her mom, and then she was just saying she feels so overwhelmed because she didn't know like what she liked, because her and the girl Liliana, like, or her and the girl had got into it because she had went on a date with a dude, right? But anyway, so that's the basics of it, right? What bothered me was because I felt like this is going to, if not already, be a common thing with our children, because of all the way of the because of the way LBGTQA, all those type of things, or are portrayed like in movies and TV shows. Like, you can't watch not one TV show that doesn't have something about some type of lesbian or gay, type of relationship. um I hope those are the right words. Maybe I should just say homosexual. I don't know. Not trying to offend nobody, right? Also, we've seen the articles. We know school is about to be out, but just even in California, when a girl refused to go to class because they were, basically teaching LGBTQ rights and all these type of things or whatever, that they're trying to get induced into class. They want to have, transgender bathrooms. They want to let transgenders play girl sports. Like, these things are starting to happen like as young as middle school. So we have to talk about these type of things, right? Like, sometimes the thing about it is, I realize with our people is we don't like to have uncomfortable conversations, right? Like, we literally do not like to have uncomfortable conversations, but we're gonna have to have uncomfortable conversations in order to get on a page of understanding, or a perception of where we understand and perceive each other on a level or energy of love, right? And so you got to understand, when we're talking about um I'm talking about the love that for humanity, that I'm looking at this child, and for a child at 15 to be going through all these emotions because they don't understand who they are, they don't know what they like, and like, they should even one like it should even be a, I guess not necessarily like it should be even be an option, but like that should even be on your mind. Like, you have so many other things that you can be thinking of, at 15 years old, especially younger, that you could be doing in your life. Like, what do you want to do in your life? Who do you want to be? What mark do you want to leave on the world? You know what I'm saying? What do you want your personality to be? What school do you want to go to? What sports do you want to play? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's so many things, like just developing who you are at that age, to where you're going through depressions and sadness and crying and anger and all these lower vibrating energies that are being inducted into you just off of outside sources. Because you got other children, you got TV programs, you got music, all these things or whatever. And it's just like I said, we have to understand that it's not and see the confusion over, it's like things that start causing confusion start making a rift in energy paths and things of how the flow, you know what I'm saying, like just like the flow of the universe and everything, the flow of the earth, and how we're developing over these years, and generations, right? So it starts to riffle, starts to create these energy waves, in the sense, if you want to say. And it has long term effects that we should, as older generations, if no matter what type of influence you have in a child's life, um and that really brings me into like a family dynamic talking about this too, because a lot of times it was like her auntie coming to talk to her, and she was real close to one of her cousins and everything like that. And we think about all these type of relationships that we have, and what is your place or your responsibility on the things that you can say and what you cannot say, and what someone else is not necessarily, but yeah, going through, experiencing at a time or whatever. We have to be able to have conversations to where we can understand each other and respect each other enough to have the conversations. If you're not doing, if there's something that can be elevated, you know what I'm saying? Like elevated in your life. Like a lot of times we like to think that when someone tells us something or suggests us something, or have, like have a conversation with someone with us, that they're saying what we are doing or what we are currently thinking is wrong. And it doesn't always have to be a right or wrong. I'm not saying like, whether being homosexual or heterosexual or transgender, like I'm not saying none of those things are right or wrong. Like I feel like we get into this space where we have to define something as right or wrong. Even when we have conversations with someone has to be right and someone has to be wrong. Like we get into this mind frame, and I think we need to alleviate that. Like we need to let that go. It's not always about a right or a wrong, because when you're moving out of love, again, when you're moving on the frequency of love, it's like I'm just want to share, what I'm saying, with you. And it's like people need to be able to understand and receive, as well, because it says that Allah speaks to man through man, right? And so if I don't know how to take a message from my brethren, I'm not even saying like this kind of gets me into family dynamics, but because even with the on the show, Charlie is not Waka Flocka's biological daughter, and she asked him to adopt her because he's her father figure, in her life. Like she trusts him like a father, and that's the role that he plays in her life. And so it got me to think into, just like family dynamics, and how our understanding and how things work. But you know what, I don't even know if I really have enough time to go as deep into that as I want to, but I am going to touch the surface of it, and then we can talk more about it next time. And so y'all can have y'all comments ready and y'all make sure y'all tune in. But yeah, so what I mean by that is we're not talking about someone just saying like somebody off the street, right? Like I'm not talking about a friend or what I'm saying, something like that. We're talking about like a sibling, a cousin, a auntie, a sister. I said a sibling. So a in-law, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's just like we have to be able to receive conversations, and I don't even want to use the word criticism, because see, I think the word criticism is the wrong word to go in there. However, when we had to be able to share just our perception, there we go, we'll say that. And a lot of people say, well, your opinion isn't needed or wanted, right? But like I said, if Allah speaks to man through man, if you don't know how to take a message, from your fellow brethren, what I'm saying, someone around you or whatever, the people that you like, that are in your circle and things like that, where, how do you expect to, just elevate, right? And why do we have that? Why do we have that type of programming to where it's like an argument, or you can't, for some reason, if you don't agree with something there, you can't display that, or you can't say that, or there's just a lot of rotten energy around, or a lot of bad energy around. It's like if where you're coming from is out of love, like it should be received out of love. And see, I think that in order to, when you really move on the frequency of love in order to, well, you got to understand that, what I'm trying to say is, even though you may be on a frequency of love, like what you're saying or what you're doing, your actions or whatever may be coming from a loving intent or a loving place, right? If the person on the other end is not on the frequency of love, they more than likely are not going to receive what you're doing or what you're saying out of love, if that makes sense. And a lot of times the people that we are speaking to are not. And see, that's the one thing about know thyself. And you got to be honest with yourself. Like, you have to be able to really be honest with yourself and say, I woke up today and I was in a state of doubt. I was in a state of grief. I was on a level of, like envy, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to be honest with yourself about what level of frequency you're dwelling on. And it's a way to see it too. Like, if you're into meditation and chakra healing and everything like that, like it's a way to see it. But if you gotta really be able to evaluate yourself, and that's what it means by know thyself, right? Because if you yourself is not on a higher frequency, you're not even going to receive the things around you on a higher frequency. And that's important too. Like, it's important to, and I'm just tying this back into, what we were talking about on the first half of the show when it comes to this energy and this frequency of love. Because I feel like when it comes to family dynamics and understanding what someone is saying to you, like, on that show particular, just to go back to that example, Tammy, her daughter, said that she's mean and she's not sensitive to what she has going on and everything like that, because Tammy, like, girl, wipe your eyes. You don't even need to be thinking about that. You too young to be thinking about that, right? Which to me, that's a good response, because you are. I mean, you would have to do a little bit more talking and, just explaining and everything like that. And I do think that that's important to be done. Like, you would definitely have to do, I feel like it's definitely important for that to be done, because just of how old she is, just how old she is now, but however, even if it was in different circumstances, right? You have people that would be brutally honest with you and tell you the dead honest truth, right? And just the way you perceive it, as if they're trying to down talk you, or they're trying to, somehow tear you down. But it really is a reflection on how you feel on the inside and what level or frequency that you are dwelling on at that moment, right? So it's crazy. That's why I say it's important that we understand these levels of these energies and things that we do on. We have to understand that we are in control, and it is not in control of us. We have to understand how to control it. But first, you have to be honest with yourself, right? So, I definitely, and I think it's important when it comes to like family dynamics, as like siblings and in-laws and everything like that, aunties, nieces and nephews, like cousins, all these type of things. I feel like it's important, because I feel like these relationships and the family, and not just the family you come from, because a lot of people got to understand too, you create a family as well. You know what I'm saying? You have a soul family, you have soul ties. Like, one of my very best friends, you cannot tell me she is not my sister. Like, that's my sister. You know what I'm saying? And so you just, not even just the family you were born from, not just your bloodline, but the family you create as well. But what I'm saying is, like, you have to be able to have these conversations, and when disagreements and things come in, I'm sorry, I'm looking at these notes, and it's just like growth and combining, and it's using each other to grow and becoming. But see, then you have to define, like, what is your goal? Like, you're supposed to be around like-minded people. And so your energy should attract people to where their goals somehow align up with your goals. And this is like in a family as well. It's like, what is our ultimate goal as a family? What is the family legacy that we want to leave behind? Like, what are the things that what I'm saying, that we want to leave behind to the younger generations that's coming up in our family? People having kids and everything, like their children and everything like that. Like, what is it that you want to be known for, right? So when we're thinking about these things, we have to be able to have conversations with these things, or have conversations about these type of things, in order for us to build. And when you're doing that, there's going to be disagreements. There are going to be some things that you don't understand, or you don't necessarily agree with at that moment, because people only perceive things to their level of understanding. So the more you grow yourself, the more you read, you know what I'm saying, the more you raise your level of understanding, then your perception of a lot of things will change as well. So if your perception of situations and life and things like that, if your perception of that is not changing, you're not growing. Because yeah, like you shouldn't be perceiving the world the same you do today as you did a year ago. I don't even want to go back as far as say yesterday, but a year ago, 5 years ago, like, you shouldn't have the same perception on life that you had at that time, because if so, that shows that there is no growth. And you got to be able to use the people around you, the people that were given to you or to come to you, that you link to in this lifetime. You got to be able to use those people and have with these family dynamics and things that we have, in order for us to continue to grow, so that we can be the best people that we can be, so that we can get back to being rulers of our nation. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we want to get back to the levels of the people of who we were before, and it's just being totally honest, of who we were before these people came over here and captured us and raped us and beat us and stripped us of our knowledge and awareness of, what I'm saying, everything. If we ever want to get back to those people, we're going to have to be able to change the way that we are thinking now. We got to be able to come on with the understanding and with the awareness of the energy that dwells within us, and how we control that energy. They put it in movies. You ain't never watched The Matrix? Not just saying. But yeah, but it's like, really, like, how you control that energy to shape your reality, to shape your growth. You know what I'm saying? It's knowledge. That's why I tell y'all all the time. That's why I love KUAW, because KUAW stands for knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Because first you gain the knowledge, you go learn something, right? You go read something. Okay, now you're aware of it, right? Now you go read into it, dig in deeper, do some research on some other words that's in it that you might not understood at the time, or knew what it meant. That is developing an understanding of something, right? The understanding, but first you got to become aware of it before you can understand it. And so once you understand something, you can apply it. Wisdom is only applied knowledge. In order to imply something, you have to understand it. You had to understand the quadruple formula before you could use it. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to understand something before you can use it. And that is wisdom. If we want to get to the place of wisdom, if we want to be passing down wisdom, we want our children to get into a mind state of wisdom, and quit walking around just doing whatever we're programmed to do or told to do or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we actually want to get back into that place, then we are going to have to get some more knowledge. And it's going to have to be the right knowledge and some understanding. And it's going to happen through uncomfortable conversations. It's going to take some leaps of faith, because sometimes you just have to try something. Right? You just have to try something. So for this week, you know what I'm saying? I just want to ask you guys to evaluate yourself this week. Are you controlling your emotions, or are your emotions controlling you? I mean, I really want to see what category you would put yourself in this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you the one in control? Is your Is your body controlling you? You know what I'm saying? Is your body craving ice cream every 5 seconds? We talk about people with diabetes and obesity and gluttony and all these type of things or whatever. Body craves certain foods and things like that or whatever. People, your discipline. We talk about smoking, drinking, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Is it controlling you, or are you controlling it? Or are you just moving on autopilot? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are just moving on autopilot. Seriously. Okay, but so it's almost time for me to get up out of here. So, real quick, I want to leave you guys, of course, with the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. So, ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother had given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when we separate in the world, remember the relation that binds you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace.